there's a crew in town. The head hillbillies are making their rounds. Small town whispers loud and clear. The sheriff shot the judge in his chambers chair.
Sheriff got a secret he won't keep. Judge shot dead in his disbelief. A lot of people have some stories to tell. Dark pass away, get the sound of a shotgun shell.
All the secrets spill on down. Voices loud in this old town. From the courthouse to the ground, rumors fly and they can't be bound.
Neighbors hide behind their blinds, whisper tales of troubled minds. Skeletons covering the mountainside, a treacherous reality in the pines.
Winter reveals the hidden lies. Moonlight couldn't mask their cries. Shadows caught in sunlit skies. There's no cover, no disguise. All the secrets spill on down. Voices loud in this old town. From the courthouse to the ground, rumors fly and they can't be bound.
we just asked you this morning. This is meeting.
All right, sorry, y'all. Said there was no sound. Give me just a second.
So that means you can't take it no lower because it's got a concrete box on it unless you break it down. I don't know how to do it. And then there's three. And I'm part of that room. We always thought it was bridges. They're not. And then seemed like there was 3 water lines and 2 gas lines. There wasn't even. So that was problems that I hit that besides hitting right of ways on the side.
Okay.
Okay. You got any questions for me, or I'm gonna go home?
Yeah, if anything comes up, we'll holler at you, Ted.
Okay.
Thank you. Take care. I'd like to welcome everybody here this morning. Special call meeting Friday, February 21st, 2025. It's a special call meeting, so we've got to stick to our agenda. But at the end of it, if anybody wants to speak, we can allow that too. So just bear with us till we get through with our business of our master agreement and our contractors. Item 1 on the new business, discuss using master agreement for grant services, approve bidding out procurement for a new grant services manager. So I'll explain a little bit on that. In 22, when we had the major flood, we hired ER Assist through master contract that they have with the state to do our grant services and to do our assessments and everything pertaining to that flood, money-wise, with the federal government and with the state. They track the funds. They've worked for us since 22, and they have done a remarkable job of the grant services and tracking. They have brought back millions of dollars to Letcher County on reimbursements, what we was spending in the early parts of the 22 flood to get people back in their homes and getting our roads repaired. They also are working on our buyout program, which is the biggest program ever in the state of Kentucky for any one county to put on. We've had close to 300 applicants combined with NRCS and with FEMA. So they've worked on that as soon as those programs come available. And NRCS had never got into the buyout program, so they kind of was learning along the way, which is a federal agency. But if it had not been for this company, ER Assist, coming to the table to help us, there's no way that the capacity locally could do even 1/5 of those projects. FEMA wants everything tracked down to the dime, and it takes a team. It ain't a one-person deal to do this. It takes a community of people. But I know there's all sorts of communication and miscommunication out there that is this, but I'm telling you firsthand that there's no way that local governments in any capacity in the state of Kentucky could do what this company's done for us. And they've tracked the dollars, and these folks out there say, well, the local government, they're pocketing the money. They're doing this and they're doing that. It's all BS. And I don't want to get fired up on that right now, but every dollar's been accounted for. I've not pocketed any money.
I haven't seen no money.
None of these magistrates have pocketed any money, and I'm kind of getting off track there. But what I do want to say is this company has done great for Letcher County. They've done great for every entity that they work for. And I hope that this court will continue their service for us.
Can I make a comment on that?
Yes.
I had an organization reach out to me yesterday. They was with the ERCs. When last disaster, they went away from ERCs. They're regretting it today. They're regretting it today. And they're local. I don't think no names, but they're going to go.
It's
Well, the reason we went for them was because Laura stood here and said that they had a team of people, and let me tell you, after the flood, one person wasn't going to do that. If you all remember, there was a team in here. There was at least 5 on the ground, and they went and rode with each one of us, each road in each district, and made sure that they got all everything they needed, information. And one person ain't going to do that. Nobody by itself can do that. On each district, this is a large county, in miles, they just can't do that.
What do you think, DJ?
Agree with everything you all are saying. I've done some FEMA work myself for smaller floods that we've had. And I have never seen the big as the work that ERCS has had to do with this. It's been complicated. I do remember when that horrific flood happened, that we were all just looking at each other going, dear God, it's going to take us years to get through this. I mean, we knew that going into it. I don't think that we would have next to nothing done if somebody like me was doing all that work. I don't have the knowledge. Even though I'm treasurer, I don't have the knowledge that the team of ERCS has. They're experts. They follow the letter of the law to the T. This is federal money. You go to the federal team if you mishandle any of that money. Laurel and her team understand that. They have stood by us. We haven't had to look over their shoulder every second because they know what they're doing. They're experts in their field. We've had 20 or 30 people with them that has got all of this work done throughout the last few years. I don't think even a 16th of the work would be done if it hadn't been for them, because they've been there with their expertise, putting out bids. If we needed an engineer or any kind of specialty we needed, it's just overwhelming, as a lay person to think about what they have done. I'm constantly amazed at the work that they've done. They are without doubt the most professional people that I've ever worked with. They're the nicest people. They have been over backwards for us. And, all of their administrative fees get turned in on federal and state projects. So, I don't know what more we could have asked for, actually. I just know that the people that have had them, left them, they regret it, because you end up doing most of that work yourself. You can't just send anybody out to evaluate a road, to see what needs to be done as far as engineering and things like that goes. We got to face the fact that we are in a valley between mountains, and we flood here. And I've worked for the county a lot of years. February and March every year, you can count on it. We're going to have some flooding. What came July 28th, 2022, nobody would have ever dreamed that. But I just feel like, as the county, as far as getting the work done, and especially the paperwork, has been such a blessing to me to know, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that the projects that we turn into FEMA, to NRCS, whoever it has to get turned into, all the paperwork is done on the front end. And that's the only way FEMA will pay you. And I just can't, thank you. I just can't say enough about them and their work ethic and the people that they send here to work. Love it here in Letcher County. That's one thing that has made me really happy, because they get here and they love it. They want to help us. They want to do a good job for us. And I don't think that we could ask for anything more than that.
Thanks, BJ.
I got just a couple things, Judge, if that's okay, that I wanted to mention. Now, these are just a few concerns that I have and that, that I've been approached with, is how can we utilize our local contractors more? How can we get better information for our people, because like with some of the projects, the church across the street in Hammond, for one. How can we get better information so that when we're asked about a project or what would be wrong with us knowing who the contractor is on the project, so maybe we could just reach out. And I'm not saying to hound them or push them or anything, I'm just saying to find a timeline, because our people's been through such a huge tragedy and they're dealing with so many problems on every side. Some people can't get to their homes, some people can't get out. And, to me, and it's really hard sometimes, but because we all work, we all stay busy, I understand that. But the communication part of the whole setup is that's one of my biggest concerns. And, if we could answer the questions that our people have that we represent in our districts, I think that would be one of the most important things. And the local contractors. I don't think anybody knows the area better than our local people. I don't think they know how to work with our people. I don't think anybody can work better with our people than our local contractors. And I think Kenny mentioned, or somebody at the last meeting that we talked about it, is having, a presence in each of our districts at some point to be able to, so I guess we could see the progress because, it's really hard. It's like we set up with our county workers. Let's put them in a district for a week. That way you see their presence, you can see what they're doing. I guess those are the things that I would like to see.
We're working right now to stand up to that. And we're also working to get stood up and information. A person to get that information out like we did in 22 flood. We're working for both of those right now.
And I understand the heart, what kind of job it is. When I was at the city of Jenkins, as the city manager, I had to document and keep up with all that, what kind of backhoe you use, how much debris did you move, who operated the equipment, what they charge. I understand that it's a, overwhelming job to try to report to FEMA. It's unbelievable. And, so, and I appreciate that, but it's like just being able to see movement. Then, and I know dealing with the government, it's in turtle mode, there's nothing fast. But just to see the projects, I guess, moving maybe just a little bit faster. And I don't even know if that's something we can do or push from our end, or even ERCs can push. But those are just my concerns that I wanted to.
Yeah, we're working on all those avenues. And we're less than a week in right now. It takes time to get all the wheels in motion. Government moves slow. It does. Not to any recognition of anybody. Everybody's doing their best they can to get projects moving. And I know we've got tremendous damage on the roads. We've got several that is not open yet, but we're addressing those and we're trying to get those.
And how many county workers we have right now working outside on the road? Seven or eight, something like that. Because we're pulling the mechanics out too, and they're helping as well. But we were down to 5?
Yeah.
I think we had 5 working the whole county during the snow and the flood disaster.
So if they took a day off,
They had four.
Yeah, it's really,
Went down to four.
yeah, and they've done the, the best they can. They, killed themselves trying to make it happen, but, I want to say I appreciate them. Yeah, for their work.
One thing I had on the ERCS deal, what I've run into. We'll be working with one guy, then all of a sudden he disappears, then you're working with another guy. And then now you get knowing him good, knowing her, he's down again. You just can't keep jumping around like it, switching off, you'll never get nothing fixed. Like with the blacktop, I worked with like 4 or 5 different ones. Never did know who you was gonna be working with, then you talk to the new one, they wouldn't know what you was talking about, where to that. And, we ain't seen her on 6 or 8 months, It's new contract time, so she shows back up, it's just the way I look at it, I'm in a straight plane shoot.
There's always a presence of people from ERCS in Letcher County. Laurel's not being here all the time, but she's been working from where she's at for us.
That's what I've liked, because Brandon or, they're always sitting in that office in there. You can always depend on calling, and they understand what you're talking.
And it's just like on that buyout program it's talking about, in 3 years, I don't know what everybody else thinks, but I don't think there should be a house standing nowhere in this county, nowhere, in 3.5 years.
That for the buyouts, that's a process. It ain't just, take her, excavator up there, some of our county trucks.
Well, I mean, it's just like, I won't mention no names, but a certain one, they started putting a little heat on it and they run tore it down pretty quick. And you know what I'm talking about, and that shouldn't have stood there long as it did.
Yeah.
All of them should have been history.
Anybody else got anything to?
My concern with ERCs is the total lack of communication. The total lack of transparency, rattling off numbers, the project numbers that we don't know what they are. So therefore, we cannot relay that message to anybody else and let them know. When someone calls me, hey, why has this not been addressed yet? I've got a road, I've got a church in the middle of the creek, I've got that. I cannot answer them and say, I can say, oh, it's up for asbestos study, or it did not pass to drill because of the power line, and that's all well and good, but we have to have some kind of report to us other than presenting big projects up for bid. Even now, the projects that are up for bid, they're not even detailed enough to let us know what projects it is, project numbers. We don't know what to tell people. And when you don't know what to tell people and you look, it makes me look incompetent, it makes all of us look like we are not doing what we said we were going to do because we don't have answers to give people. And the majority of people in the county, that's what they want. If I tell somebody, someone messaged me this morning, can you get someone up here to plow this road? And I said, they probably can't get to it today, but tomorrow they're shorthanded today, they're down some equipment. But people like to know information, and we cannot relay that information to people. We also cannot move forward enough when we're only bidding out 3 and 4 projects once a month. That's why I wanted a printout. What percentage is left? What percentage of these projects are left? So we'll know at least where we're at with flood 22. Then we got the flood in between, and now we got this one. We're not talking about today communication with this particular event. We're talking about 2022. Open that line of communication with us so we can be in the know and we can give people answers to what, we meet disgruntled people along the way. We meet people who are very understanding along the way. But anytime you have something to tell them, it kind of eases that. And we are not kept in the light about these projects and these situations. It's so frustrating. I sent an email to ERCS about Ranger Road. I don't know who answers those emails. The email back to me was, any project for Ranger Road will be addressed Wednesday if there is an answer. Not in so many words, but when I get online to see if there's an answer, there's nothing for Ranger Road. I message back, there's nothing for Ranger Road on the website. Never received anything back. These people are drilling down my road, and
need answers. I want it to be more transparent than what it is. You know, just because ERCS knows what project number they're talking about, I don't. And it's frustrating on every end.
But you're out on the project, you know, if you bid 2 or 3 a month, and, you know, it takes 30 days to have a meeting and 45 days to get started, we'll be 20, 30 getting this cleaned up.
And I know the buyout is a huge thing and a huge undertaking, but I also know that there are dwellings that have been, all the asbestos study, whatever everything, and these dwellings are still standing. On a Charlie White Lane, that house is still standing there. That stuff is still in the creek. When it rains, it dams it up, it pushes it out onto Josh Younts and all them like that up above him. You know, if that's done, let's get them tore down. I understand if the asbestos study has not been done, that's a time-consuming thing. But if it's the asbestos study and it's done, and all it takes is ERCS to come up there and release it, then let's get them out of here and get them out of the way. They're causing more damage by standing there. If it's a house in the middle of Whitesburg or up wherever, and it flooded and it's not posing any threat, I can see, okay, but if it's a house like Charlie White Lane and all those beams are still in the creek from the bridge, the house, it's a disaster up there, and it's been a disaster. Let's get those houses out of there.
Exactly.
Any other comment?
And if you can't, tell us why. Tell us why you can't.
Laura?
Well, hello. To your point, we can do just like we have our file that we post project numbers, or we use codes, and we don't put addresses, but we put codes, and we have that on the website each month, and also pass that out each month. We can do that with project numbers and give you a list of what roads or what areas those are on within our software. We have a map of locations, so we can provide that. I don't think we can provide that forward facing where they can click on it and see what contractor it's with, but all the information is there. We can provide it and put it on the website for anyone to pull down.
Well, if it's not on the website, can we know who the contractor is?
Well, sure. I mean, you have voted on the contractor. I mean, there's a linking document there, but yeah, we can. I mean, when you vote on it, when you have awarded it,
Right.
it says the project name or the road name in it. When we post those out, we have the addresses, the platform, the map, the picture.
I just like to have something though that I can
Yeah.
click to be able, if I'm out, you know, I don't remember who's doing what job.
Right.
So if I'm out, I can click on something and be like, yeah, it's this contractor. We can call them and say, you know, yeah.
So, and the last month we did do a lot of procurement, one because of the weather, and two because the contractors were not getting the work done, and we were doing extension after extension after extension for them to get the work done. So there was no point of putting more work out for them to not do.
Who wasn't getting the work done? Which ones was it?
We had quite a few. I can tell you who it was.
I'd like to know who it was.
So what have you done for us since 22?
And we are your grant manager for public assistance and hazard mitigation. We're not a grant contractor for other grants, DCMC and CRAD are. So while we come and perhaps get some of this feedback each month, because we do come to the monthly meetings, there are other contractors doing other work for the county as well. In the 2000, since the big flood, we've identified over 3,000 sites for FEMA. Those have been broken down to 338 projects at an average of $82,000 a project, which is not that big of a project. Versus, like, if you would have had a debris project, that would be millions, tens of millions of dollars potentially, or, you know, a wastewater treatment plant, a multi-million-dollar project. These are, you know, smaller projects for FEMA. So there's a lot of administrative work in each of those projects. So an average of $82,000. We've coordinated with over 50 contractors. And we have over $15 million in other grants other than FEMA PA, and that's the NRCS, the SAFE, and the hazard mitigation. We do the audit reports for the auditors, the procurement, the site visits, the documentation with the contractors. But I do hear that what you need is maybe not data at the grant level, but data at the road level, so that we can say these roads are where they're at.
Yeah.
And that's something simple that we can do.
What do you think, Laurel, is the reasoning behind things being, not being addressed the way they should be addressed, like the houses that are.
Well, I would disagree with you. I mean, we're moving at the speed of government, and it's not us slowing things down on by.
If the house has been purchased, if a basis has been done, that falls to you all going out and, because that's what the contractors do. They meet ERCs out there, and ERC says, okay, this is a go. If there are other houses that ERC has not went out on and said, okay, contractor, get to work.
That could be, but it's not because we're sitting on it, it's because the NRCS hasn't given us guidance that we're allowed to do that yet. So because this is a new program for NRCS, the rules change every week.
So if it's a FEMA buy, what does that fall into the same?
FEMA has different rules.
And you all, so would there be a?
I don't think there's any that are waiting on us.
13 that are, some rock properties that he said is completed, but not being pushed forward. If it's, been closed, it's either vacant, pending asbestos survey, or pending demo. We don't have any that are just waiting on us.
So Brenda, do you have for this particular place, do you have information on the house on Charlie Butler?
The property is not been closed yet. Title issues, we can't do anything about that until the title is clear. So the title search is the longest part of the process. You have to do a 60-year title search, and I believe there's 4 properties on there. I think it's the same property on there, but we can't do anything until the title is clear.
Now, this is a separate, there is an issue. There is houses there that, but this is a separate house away from those 4 houses.
I think she's talking about the first one.
The first one?
First one.
Yes, on Charlie Butler.
This one is not actually addressed on Charlie White. It comes off 119. That's the one that I think Razorback is doing the demo on. And they was ready to start that demo when the snow and flood hit. They have to put a temporary crossing in there at that house, and to get the equipment and to get the debris out. So until that water goes down, it would be kind of frivolous to put a temporary crossing across that stream and dam it up more.
So when you talk about the church at Hammond, and you say that it is, what is the time frame from the time that church goes? And I know, we're all wise to know that when you talk about any kind of buyout is coming from federal money. And so it is a snail pace, it's a long way, and a lot of people don't realize that it's not our money that, we're waiting on that. So when there's an asbestos study, and the asbestos study is completed, first of all, how long is it taking this company to get out to do these asbestos studies? And then how long after that asbestos study is completed, the ERC is releasing these properties for?
So once it's vacant, the judges receive the asbestos survey contract. It usually takes around 2 weeks to get the asbestos survey done, and then once they send off the samples, it takes another 5-6 days to get back after we get the survey report. And then once we have the survey report, we file an NOI with the state, I notice an intent demo. And then from there, from the date we submit it, then we have a 10-day mandatory waiting period, we can't do any work. And once we file it, we send notice to proceed with the demo contractor, let them know this is historical certificate. And then, or if there's abatement, then we do the abatement first, and then it goes to demo. But it's usually a quick process once we get the asbestos survey back. For the house, the church that's planning to approve, once we heard about this issue, we did expedite that property. We got the appraisal done faster. We expedited the top of the list. And then the federal pause kind of stopped that for a while. while, and then as soon as it was lifted, we purchased that one. And we just got demo plans for that one yet back, so in our case, it's individual demo plans, and we can't do any work until we get those. So we did just get that, we sent out the asbestos survey notice to proceed, this week, so hopefully they're coming out next week to do that one, so hopefully the next month it'll be accomplished.
That's the information that we like to have.
And we can't provide that level of detail on every property every week, but we do have a status each month at the court meeting. We can update that on a weekly and update that on the website weekly. But, are you asking us to call you on?
No, absolutely not, and that's ridiculous. But transparency with that. Monthly, it's just, okay, Debbie, you were asking, just randomly run this by you. Debbie, you were asking about this church. Vinny, you were asking about, hey, I just want to give you an update on that. No, I don't want to know every individual one. But things like that explains people all the way on the end of that. That is the most important. Things like that, if we have strength, the importance of that, and I have, those are the ones that I feel like we need extra information on.
Well, we do provide that monthly already, but we can update that, to weekly. Brent?
Yes.
Okay.
And I had a question too. Why do they go ahead and bid it out to the contractor when it's not ready? No title search done, no asbestos done. They go ahead and bid it out, and then they'll bid it. They get to bid, then the contractor looks back and not turned down, and it's not their fault because it's not ready to be torn down.
It doesn't count against them until.
Nobody didn't say counting against them. It's looking bad on the contractors when it's your all's fault. It's not ready to go. And it's not their fault. They're waiting for the process to go through.
And really, how is it?
Procurement ahead of time when we're waiting on it, or the procurement after. Then it would be another month.
Because I know one meeting here, they was putting the contractors in default. They hadn't done nothing. They couldn't move because it wasn't ready to move on.
I can absolutely guarantee the contractor wasn't in default because of asbestos or other, it was if they had a notice to proceed and had not proceeded.
And then I've noticed for sure. Then also in these properties, until the homeowner gets paid for this project, a lot of that's not public knowledge. You know, we can't give out.
We can't give out addresses until they're owned by the county.
And if you don't put, you know, if we do one process, you talk about the contractors. If we do one process, we wait for that to completely be done, then we do the other process. It's going to take 20 years to do this. If the contractor knows that they've got this project when it comes available, then they can be planning on their end to move that project along just as soon as it is available. So I don't think it's a detriment to any contractor that to know. When I done contracting work, I wanted to know 6 months in advance of what I was doing. It's not a detriment that they bid these jobs in advance and know where they're going to be working. That may be a month down the road. You know, they get their equipment and their supplies, they're what they need to do the job. You know, if we wait till the contractor's needed next week and we hire somebody to do it and they're 6 months out, we're holding up again. So it really is not. Brian and the folks that are helping her do that buyout project is doing those efficiently and as quick as can be done. There's a lot of moving parts.
Letcher County is leading the NRCS program right now in buyouts and demos, leading the state in buyouts and demos. No one's doing more quickly than Letcher County.
And that's historically.
Correct.
That is not just, that's across the state of Kentucky and probably across the United States. We're doing as fast as anybody I know in this region. I've talked to them all. We're double capacity of what any other county's doing. And it's because what we're doing is working. yeah, there's some bugs, and yeah, everybody don't know every step along the way. And then a lot of these homes too, these people, that's their lives that are in these homes. Some folks are still living in those homes. And once that purchase has been done, they've got 45 days to move out. They also can request an extension upon circumstances to get their stuff out or to get to a new location. They've got their money from the buyout, and their whole life's work is sitting here in that check. And it's a process. It ain't something that we're doing the best we can.
And I appreciate they can file for an extension, because you're right. I've watched people cry for house been torn down. So I appreciate that.
I've had people they won't be there. They only know when it's going to happen.
Me too. Yeah, it's really sad.
Those extensions do extend the time until it's done.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
To me, it's about the people, and everybody deals with things differently. Some people would say, tear it down, I'm done, and others, like the judge said, they've spent their whole life there. So I understand that, and I appreciate the extension.
And I think we do go out of our way to spend extra time with homeowners, citizens on the phone and through the process, and spend whatever time is needed with those participating in the program, even though there are requirements to the program.
There are a few issues, transparency they have mentioned that we probably need to address. But overall, for what we're doing is, and what Laurel and her team is doing for us it's above anything that I've dealt with.
Let me make clear, I'm not meaning to put these people out and make them get their stuff out and turn these houses down. I am, once those people get everything moved out of their house, their extension, as many extensions as they need, then that's when everything's done. And just like the house that I was speaking of once, it was closed, we bought it in April of 2024, and the house is still there. To me, that's not excusable. That's not, if that house was not posing a threat and the things around it were not posing a threat to other homes, then because there's other houses in my district that have not been bought out. If that church had not been posing other issues, it's flooded 3 times, and it's that anybody's fault. No, they built that church across the creek, back in the day when, that's another, it's not our fault that church was there, but it's our responsibility to serve the people that church is destroying. It's a business that has not even been able to open the 22 flood because of that church swimming in the creek and pushing everything over. If the extensions are given and everything is done, as best as study, everything is done, then that's my concern, is why the houses are still standing and why that church is still standing. And I agree and was very clear on the church. My concern is the White House that was bought in April of 2024, and it's still there and posing an issue for people upstream.
We can look at that specific one and see if it's something that we move to the front of the line, but know that everything can't be at the front of the line. If we do stop what we're doing, that one had imminent flooding risk, and so that justified to all concerned to stop everything else and do that. But so we can look at that one. But there are no properties that are sitting in the DRPS queue or waiting on action from us.
Y'all got any more comments or questions? There was a mention of Craig Edis. Is he here?
He is in Martin County with FEMA.
Any other comments from the court or motion to proceed in any way? At this point right here, we can further ERC's contract to take on this project that we're dealing with right now, which is a declared disaster dating from February the 11th, for as long as it takes us to work it. I would recommend we stay with ERC's.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Any other comments or anything? Call the roll.
Jack,
Yes.
Kenny,
No.
Deb, no, Jenny,
Yes.
Benny,
Pending our questions being answered today and we can follow what we've set forward in it, I'll say yes.
Judge Adams.
Yes. So we will address that, Laurel, and then we'll move forward on this project. Second thing on the agenda is the emergency procurement of emergency road repairs. You know, we got a lot of contractors in here. And Laurel was working on that, even though she wasn't our contractor for that. So I appreciate that, Laurel.
Even though you're retired now, we did this earlier this week. So, this is, has made, there's a new PA guy, a new public attorney, a guy that became public January 6th, and that, they pushed to the, county, additional requirements regarding procurement. The same as it always has, except they're giving us more requirements to check contractor responsiveness, responsibility, and to ensure fair and open competition. In an emergency, we are allowed to do emergency procurement, but what we did, behalf of the county was put out procurement so that we had fair and open procurement, even for emergency, procurement. And while we don't know what this work is for, so this work is not associated with any sites, this tells the county, hey, all of these contractors have met the basic requirements as far as responsibility and insurance, and have stated that they have the equipment and the know-how to do this type of work. And what we did is for some standard culvert installation, some ditching, and then we also put out rates for laborers, equipment, operators, dump trucks, pickup trucks, skid steer, excavator, and backhoe. They were allowed to submit other pieces of equipment and other rates, but for the purposes of being able to see them all in one location, it's here. This is not meant to award to a lowest bid, because there is no such thing as a lowest bid, because we don't know what they're doing yet. This is for the county to have in the next couple of weeks, maybe even the next couple of months, as we have emergency locations that we're not able to take the time to go out for bid, that we could say, hey, contractor X, do you have this equipment and can you do it today? If they say yes, we'll put a contract together for them, and then they can go do the work.
And when can we start on that?
If you, today?
Now, you're the one, you just pick up this and you call Brandon or you call so-and-so.
Well, I would defer to the judge on that, but
Okay,
however, he or the road department would like us to integrate in that. I don't think we would necessarily be selecting the contractors unless, sometimes how it would work is we could put out immediate and say, 2 hour turnaround is new unavailable.
Right.
So,
okay.
there are quite a bit on here. But, I have looked at all of these, but if they're all local contractors, the road department or the judge would know their capabilities or what type of equipment they might have and have a preferred vendor, and that is acceptable as long as they're on this list.
I would like to see all of our local contractors get a fair shake and fair shot at every job. I think that we need to move as fast as possible and try to clean up some of this mess.
Yeah.
And
Well, look, they bid it for another reason, and that's what reason I want one in each district, that way
It ain't bidding it.
You're not bidding.
She
No,
said
it's
it's 2 weeks to 2 months.
No, it's emergency.
Big emergency. That's it right there. It's our emergency. Our guys will never get this fixed. We just got 4 or 5 work. When the emergency is expecting to come around, when the emergency is pulled off, then you gotta go back, I'll take my guidelines, then you start back bidding. Right?
Yes, so the problem is the hourly rates. FEMA does not like the ones that are in blue, that they do not like hourly rates because the thought is, well, if everyone knows that FEMA's paying, then everyone's gonna take a long time to do that work. So it's really the hourly rates we have to be concerned about. The culverts, the standard rate for culvert installation, and these are rates with the county providing the rock in the culvert, the contractor hauling the rock and culvert. So the culvert rates could potentially stay on longer since it's a unit rate. As long as we choose one that is the most reasonable and available and appropriate for that job. Since we're not going with low bid in this emergency, because we have emergency locations that need repaired, it is not a lowest bid necessarily. I mean, that's what the county may choose to do, is they choose to award, but if we have 20 locations today and we have 11 contractors, then we wouldn't give it all to the lowest bidder because we need roads open.
So if we, is it a possibility then that we can put contractors in every district, turn them loose, you know, as the projects need fixed and let them go ahead and begin?
What we need is a list, and y'all have already been doing that. You've got it to Shane, you've got it to me of, what we're trying to address first. And I know everybody wants gravel and everybody wants the mud off the road, but what we're trying to address first is the folks that can't get home or can't get out, and without going on a side by side or something like that. You know, we're trying to fix the roads. So, everybody,
Maybe is the answer.
yeah, everybody is sent, you know, you all sent those to Shane, I know, and we compiled a list, and we're going to address them with severity. And whether they're working every day in every district, I don't know that, but they may be 20 households in Kenny's district on 20 different roads that can't get in. You know, we know that is needed, and we know, and we're trying to organize that and get that to where it is. This list and these contractors is what we have to go on, and the availability of them to go do the projects. And you know, I'm sure Shane's got every one of y'all's numbers, and he'll be reaching out as we need projects done. And
After the emergency period, whatever we determine that emergency period to be, if we kept the ones in yellow, it would have to go to lowest bid or meet the lowest bid.
and that would correspond with availability too.
Correct, yes.
Yes.
In the big flood, in the 22 flood, we used the state term master service agreement contract. And they did just go in and turn loose. And that was very, very, very costly to turn loose, and the documentation wasn't wonderful, and it was very problematic administratively after the fact. Having multiple, so when you say turn loose,
Well,
maybe with some asterisks. next
yeah,
to it.
I don't mean just,
Yeah.
you know, do whatever you want to. I mean, you know, they got the guidelines to go by. And
Yes, you might begin.
I want to get started.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I'd like to see moving ASAP.
Yep, and we are.
We did put in this procurement when it was put out for each work, they would have to take 4 pictures and 4 after pictures with the GPS app, photo service.
And I know we've got a lot of contractors in here. I will add that documentation is vital. It's vital
Yeah.
for us to distribute the money, and it's vital for you all to get the money, get paid for your services. Just follow those guidelines to where that we can get you paid, and you ain't mad at me, and I can get you paid because we want to move these projects along as fast as possible. But we do need a motion on these contractors.
And it's just to accept the whole.
To accept them all, it ain't a
There's no
competitive bid.
guarantee of work to any of them.
So let me ask you this, have all our contractors, I'm assuming they've all had an opportunity to be put on the list?
Yes. It was a
Ever-
short turnaround, but
Okay,
Everybody called it.
yeah, that's what my biggest thing is if somebody did miss and they didn't have an opportunity, if they come up later and be like, can we add them?
I think we can, as long as it's going. I mean,
I just want to make sure everybody gets an
maybe we
opportunity.
could put out
I know what you're saying. I had one looked at to me this morning.
Yeah.
and I know some of them didn't. I know that.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that possibility's there.
We could maybe put out another emergency.
I'd like to do that, if that's okay.
Yeah, we can do
To
that.
get this one going.
I'd like to make a motion that we accept what's on here, and move forward now and put out, another one to give everybody the opportunity.
I second.
Benny,
Yes.
Jack,
Yes.
Kenny,
Yes.
Dan, Chase,
Yes.
Jack.
Yes.
So they are all aware that they can be called and they'll give you a time span on.
We'll work with them.
Okay.
We'll try to get and we'll try to get some of these projects grouped to where they're in the same area and can get them done for us.
Yeah, in our 22 flood, we were at FEMA's mercy in the way they grouped the projects. And honestly, I think some of them they grouped alphabetically. We were much more forceful in 4711 and 4848. Brandon worked with FEMA to group them.
I will add that I know we've got contractors in here. The contractors that we've got bidding on projects, some of them are behind. And a lot of them being behind is the holdup of some of these projects. That's just common sense. If any of you guys want to bid on these other projects, now would be the time. As they come up, get with Laurel or Brandon or Brian, or get on that call list to where that you're aware of these projects, because if we've got 3 contractors doing 100 projects, it's going to take us a while. But if we got 10 contractors doing 100 projects, we're getting them done. So just y'all keep that in mind, and any of your buddies that's doing contractor work, tell them to call us and get on that list, and we'll more bidders the better.
Right. I want to say this without sounding mean, but as an advocate for the county, we did put in the requirement that the work has to be done to KYTC standards. So it's not as simple as putting a culvert down and covering it with some rock. It needs to be down to the water line, and this needs to be something the county can be proud of and be of actual use.
And on the emergency, you're getting paid by the hour. Get it right.
Right.
I'm not saying abuse it, but let's get it in to where that we don't have to come back to it.
Judge Adams, would it be an option to, I feel like that we are all intelligent people with the county's best interests at heart. Would it be possible for each magistrate to delegate contractors to certain jobs, or is that everything going to have to go through you and Shane?
Everything has to go through the road foreman.
The road foreman?
Yeah, we'll get
That's
him,
pretty overwhelming for one person.
but that's how it has to be. But Shane can take care of that. Get that information to him. We're going to work the worst ones first and work our way down. And once we get these guys working, I think we'll go pretty quick.
So if we have something immediate right now, we're gonna go give it to Shane, correct?
No, Jason. And I know there's a lot out there that's 4-wheel drive only. I know that. And, we'll try to get that as quick as we can.
Yeah, I've had a couple of those.
Anything else, Laura?
For the court meeting, vote to accept these?
Yes.
We did, didn't we, Angie?
Yeah.
Couple
So long ago. Did I have something on there about potential debris or other contracts?
Debris removal.
I don't think the state is gonna do it for disaster.
We do have, item 3, emergency procurement needs, so that's all
That's
that.
one of them. I do have debris and bridges and such
Yeah, and
covered.
if it's debris against the bridge, then it rains a little bit more, it floods again.
Yeah.
I would recommend that the county consider having us put, debris procurement out for bid. Not saying that you have to go with that contractor yet, but you have it in place. As I understand it, as of earlier this week, Ashford is not the state term contractor anymore. It's a company called DRC. They're a big company like Ashford, and they were activated for state highways only. Now, I just got that information kind of multiple ways secondhand. So that could have changed as of this morning, but as I understand, the state does not have plans to pick up on county or city roads.
So we probably need to put that out.
Every county and city for themselves. Now, the county can do intergovernmental agreement and work with the city and just have one debris contractor and the cities pay their portion. So that we're not having to stop at the city line and figure out where the city line is. We don't want to slow progress. But I think at the very least, I should tell us to put the procurement out.
We work pretty well with the cities. We could do interlocal
Yeah, we
agreements.
I think we've already got it. Locals in place.
Anyway,
We probably need a motion to do that,
I'll
to
make
put out for debris removal procurement.
I mean,
I'll second.
Can I ask a question? So what, these contractors, we can't use them for the stream or creek in our county, along our county roads.
Or debris.
We
You can.
can.
For emergency, but this, we can't use this for long-term
Right.
because it's an hourly rate and FEMA and debris unit rate.
If we got a contractor along the county road and they're doing a culvert that's washed out and there's debris in front of 2 other culverts coming in, we're gonna get it coming out. Okay, good. That's what we're gonna do. Yeah,
But with sparing measure, we can use the hourly rate. It does have to be monitored and.
Right.
under our-
and it's gonna be on Shane's discretion and what, and I hate to, but we have to have perimeters of what we're working on out there. So, but we will address these needs as we coming out of the holler. If they stuff in front of the culvert and we're in there working, it'd be crazy to come out there and not get.
What about things like slips and above them too, just slip that in the creek?
We'll try to get what we can as we're in there. So,
And dredging also.
Can we set up, a court meeting to award the second emergency contract of the local contractors or the debris contract?
yeah, we will.
Maybe in a week or 10 days?
Probably toward the end of next week, maybe.
Yes.
Or a few days.
Well, yeah, that'll.
Or 2 weeks earlier, whatever.
Friday of next week, is that what you're saying for the?
Friday or Monday? Maybe Monday to give the contractors time to.
yeah, let's do Monday if that's okay.
So what day is that?
Monday week? Is that what we're looking for, Monday week?
March 3rd, that work? That give enough time to get it here?
Yeah,
And if we get that second emergency contract out, that we'll give the contractors close to a full week to.
I have culverts that disappeared and it's running down the road. That's stuff like that I'm gonna get fixed up immediately.
You got anything else on
Time on that, 10 a.m.?
10 a.m.? You got anything else on the emergency procurement?
Yeah, if we do these hourly rates for debris removal, it does have to be monitored either by the employee or by a third party, which would be assist for the contractors. We have to take photos and document. He was very particular about that.
I think you all do that.
Yes,
Okay.
but we kind of need to know the day. We need to know for planning purposes how many people to. Oh, yeah.
Thanks, Laura. As always, we appreciate you. Okay. Call the roll, please.
Ted,
Yes.
Benny,
Yes.
Jack,
Yes.
Kenny,
Yes.
Bill, Judge Allen.
Yes. Transfers, young transfers.
Did you say March first, man?
Yeah, March 1st.
Any bills?
Yes, there is,
March 3rd.
Any questions on the bill transfers? At this time, we'll open it up to public comment. Yeah, we'll just, I guess, just start up here, and if anybody's got anything they wanna address, then we'll try to best answer. Just state your name, Darwin.
It's Chris Sloan. Just wanted to bring attention to the intersection of First Street and Chestnut Drive. I believe I sent an email to the judge. That is now not only the creek, but the road to the point that, like Matt said, you can't shove over the water.
Yeah, it's coming off that.
It's coming over the road.
It is.
And in this last case, luckily, we had someone to backtrack the road itself, and they cleared the creek. So it's starting to be where we have to take care of it ourselves, and we don't even own the connecting property.
Yeah, we've worked that culvert several times. And
Constantly, every year, not
Yeah.
twice. Okay, that's all I have.
Judge Adams, is that just a matter of, because I talked to Shane, there was some issue with that culvert there that, I don't know if they hit rock, I'm not sure, but Shane had mentioned that we can't put anything bigger in there.
that culvert is as big as we can get in with the road and the rock level.
What would be the solution for?
It's narrow there. I'm sure you've looked at it. That it's just too much water for that area coming down through that.
Right.
I know Shane had mentioned that somebody was looking at maybe building us some box type coverage.
Yeah, we are looking at it. That would probably that may be something we can adapt there too, but I think there's some logging up on the hill there behind that. It's probably more water than is normal coming off there too. Next.
Everybody, I'm Ronnie Owens. I live behind the tennis course in Whitesburg. And I don't know, we got pretty hard with 22. I lived there in my current house, I guess, for 21 years. We had minor floods, but we never saw anything like we had the last few years. I did lose my dream house to build it, lived there, raised my kids there. But we didn't buy the first time because we hadn't had a history of, major floods like that. Now it's getting to where, and I'm just one person, I know this, everybody has stories like this, but it's just getting point now, anytime it rains, you're really worried about, the outcome. And it's a financial hit on a family, it's emotional, it's mentally, it's exhausting. And when it's flooded, luckily the in our house will destroy all of our heat pumps, it destroyed the crawl space out the garage. I know that you're probably doing all kinds of flood mitigation strategies already, and I don't know what you can do if you can dredge. I know that's something that's brought up a lot. I know, from what I understand, there's some EPA requirements maybe around that, but I know it's just a really tough lick on everybody who's living around rivers and creeks, and like I said, I don't just want versus, but I know it's like that. So I think something we all could consider doing, that would be awesome.
I have already addressed that with our governor, and I recommended that for the 22 flood. EPA don't want us in the rivers, but now we have a new administration in Washington that I think may hopefully free up some of that. I have mentioned it to our governor this week, and I've mentioned it to Al Rogers' office, and all of our representatives know of the plight, and it's not just our county, it's the other counties as well. So I recommended we go from the start to the end and pull all this out in 22 after the flood in July, but I have reiterated that this week, and hopefully we get some feedback from that. And
also, what about, I know like I said, the first time we did do the feedback, because we never really experienced like that. Is that going to be an option again,
we are currently compiling a list at my office. If you're interested, or anybody that hears this, if you're interested, call the office, get your name and number down, and they have not, we're early in this disaster. They have not said that they're going to extend it, but I don't see how they couldn't. So just anybody that's interested in that, please call my office or get a hold of Laurel or Brian or the magistrate, in there. Just let us know and make sure that we get those numbers down.
Good. Good deal.
Anything?
No. Like Mike said, I believe Barlow Road is worse than it was. The creeks and the road got pictures of it right now. And all that, Kings up here, but we need some make up in there, and it's going again Thursday. And it's gonna be all the place again.
Yep.
I lost a car, a truck, a camera. That garage is washed out again. It's done it the same way again. It's gonna have to be deep.
We're not new blacktop.
We need to destroy the new blacktop. It's all gone.
Yeah.
We don't get to make it surely, it's just gonna wash us off. I know you got a lot to do, when you make it. 67 down there.
And the main thing is the creeks is full. Creeks are full. Yep.
They already gone. It's worse than it was in 22. I don't know what we're gonna do. My mom lives there, she's 81-year-old. All the money to get to, all the trees and the road.
And that's what I told the governor too, is, we had almost 4 inches of rain this past week that done the same damage as the 22 flood. And
That's just like it was.
And that's what I expressed to him, and the need to do.
For the neighbor brings, well, they just it was still on the road.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate it, if we can get some.
My name is Linda, and I live in Dairy Hall in Chicago. My house is, my land is first, but it's in. Now, while right now, my home was not affected because I have a large dog and a club. But this is going to cause a major problem as years go on. down below the drainage from the creek, and it has been dredged, mine and the, but down below on Fairway Drive, there's no way for this water to go. I have pictures of my lower yard. It's going to affect the road to where it's going to collapse now. I know there was some issues last year. Benny, I think you probably remember there in the curve.
Yeah.
I know Todd Lynn said it had nothing to do with water, but even on mine, yeah, it's flat. And it has been paved in there on the track. They just done nothing but fill it full of pavement. I don't know what it is going to be. I don't want to go out and call now, but you understand what I'm talking about. I don't know what it is, but it literally in my lower bottom halfway flooded, which is going to affect that whole hillside of freight. Another, which coming to this meeting and hearing how the process goes with ditch lines. I'm a social worker with the county, and without that, I have to say going down to Blackie and Letcher was horrible between 9 o'clock and about 12:30. Yes, I know we had heavy rains and the rivers and things like that with ditching, but a lot of it was the ditches. It was the culverts that was absolutely horrible. Even going down, I had to go on Sunday night, going down to Vernon, and came across a washout that there was no homes, no nothing in the middle of the night when it was dark. For the grace of God, my coworker who was with me saw it, and there was nobody home. So these are some things that we can address on this. Last, which it hadn't anything to do with the flood, but also in Dairy Hollow, we've had time to get roads straight. Because Jenkins and Letcher County want to fight over who has what section of Dairy Hollow. But for some reason, and I got that on video, before snowflake flew this time, we got a county truck come up through, straight salt. But today I had to call the big, somebody to come. And anybody that wants to see my video, I'll let you. You can see the top of my driveway. And if I go over in my dog's train, I'm going to die. Because there's no trees and no guardrail on that section. But why would we have a county truck come up through there and scrape? And there was no snow, but when there's snow.
He was probably checking for debris. And what Jenkins and I in the county do not squabble over who has jurisdiction.
When I called in the January snow, I called over a 3-day period. And Jenkins was telling me, no, it's Letcher County. Letcher County was telling me it was Jenkins because I pay Jenkins trash. And finally, and I don't know, I believe it might have been your secretary, and I'm like, listen, now I'm at the foot of 10 inches of ice between my driveway and Fairway Drive. You know, I bought a flamethrower to try to get my driveway. And finally, somebody came up through there and scraped it down some grass. That is the first time, and even today, every time I call. I don't know if it's going to be done, but I was sliding this morning.
There's a lot of roads are bad.
Yeah,
and they're getting to them as fast as possible.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
My name's Eric. I live over in Dane. I would like for us all to look into the historic and scientific precedents why dredging the creek is not the best thing to do. We're already dealing with massive amounts of erosion. We have clear cut creek banks that are falling off everywhere. Dredging will make that worse. Dredging is going to wash the sediment of our creek banks away. Like a treasure, we live in a temperate rainforest. We're going to deal with record rainfall. We dredged the creek before the 80s and 90s. We dredged the creek in the 60s and record flood in the 70s. It's just, and I'm not talking about salamanders. I mean, that should be a reason we care about destroying the creek bank. But I personally live in Dean. It's bedrock on my creek. That can be 20 foot deep. What we're going to do, blow it up. And then if we do dredge it any deeper, it's only like 6 inches to a foot deep. My bottom didn't flood. I keep the creek clear. I have trees in a riparian zone on my creek banks, which is what most of our creek banks are missing. Most of our creek banks, A&P, has clear cut, and we're yelling at Laurel. We need to be yelling at AEP to clean up a mess. We need to be planting trees on creek banks. We need to be worried about erosion. We need to be worried about sediment washing out the Knott County and Beaver Dam when we dredge our creeks, and all the sediment has to refill the depth of dredge. We stopped dredging for reasons, multiple reasons, not just because of sound. Erosion, creek bank. I mean, I've been taking classes since the flood of 2022 to make my property better, but all my drive here, rock house is flooded on the mountain because they ain't a single culvert on the ditch that's clear. It's full of leaves, it's full of trash, it's full of trees that's been cut down, it's full of trees that's failed. The culverts I pass are all disgusting. I mean, I know we only have so many people working, I understand that. We need to look at the symptoms of the problem and not slap a band-aid on it. Dredging is a band-aid. They will refill the sediment quicker. They will make faster water, and that will continue to wash away all our things. That's what I can say. So, if y'all need any resources, I can pass along the resources I have in the classes and workshops I've been taking for the last 3 years. We'll be glad to help, but it might be a quick solution for the next couple of years, but if they did it in the 60s, it flooded 5-10 years later. We live in a temperate rainforest. We need to quit building houses back on the sides of the creek. I know that's hard to hear. I know that might be mean to say. But there's a trailer in camp that's 50 foot in the air. We don't need a junkyard beside it. You know what I mean? I don't know what else to say. And that. But also, if the ditch in front of your house is dirty, maybe you can go out and pick up the trash back and clean it. I think mine, it doesn't flood. It's kind of that simple. But peace and love.
Thanks. I do want to reiterate, there was a team in here from the University of Kentucky, and they basically told us the same thing. That was up at the extension office. They did tell us if we dredged, it would be worse.
It'll be the water.
And they said if we cut trees, it'd be worse.
Yes, we need, sorry to say.
I mean, I'm not saying I'm for or against it. I'm just saying.
It's not that I'm against it. there's better solutions. If you've never heard of a riparian zone, if you have a creek bank, you need a riparian zone. You need to plant trees, you need to plant shrubs, you need to plant bushes, you need to plant berries. That slows the water down. It also holds the water back, so it has more time to flush out. It's also cheaper. I think a lot of people think when they hear dredging, it's the most expensive and invasive process to go through. I don't want people on my property. In the last flood, I had to hire a courtroom of lawyers because they cut down a cherry tree that wasn't even close to the creek bank. That's an expensive tree. That's why they wanted it. It was 6 foot away from the creek bank, and probably one of the only reasons the creek bank didn't wash out. Also, if you dredge my creek, I'm not going to have a bottom because then the creek bank's going to continue to fall. I've already been my bottom. Then just put a high tunnel on my bottom. I can pay $15,000 for it. I would like to be able to continue to use it. I keep sheep in the bottom. I keep pigs in the bottom. I mean, my bottom doesn't flood. The creek's this deep. But you know what? If there's a tree that falls in it, I take a chainsaw, cut it out. If there's 10 that washes down, I walk out there and pick it up and I take it and use it on the chicken. All right, if it's not rocket science, we have historical precedents for why these are bad ideas or why they can be good ideas. A blanket dredge is bad. Do some places need to be dredged? I'm sure that mudslide in McRoberts was awful. It just was. Maybe go through there, but I think maybe we could clean our waterway better. When I was in middle school, we were out picking up trash all the time. Every power line I drive by, there's 100 trees just piled up. But let's hold them accountable. Can we stop holding these people that are doing the buyout, which I'm a part of, and June is 2 years. Does that piss me off? Very much so. I feel like I should have the money for my house. It's condemned up in the end. But I also understand it took me a year and a half to get a house on the CS, so it ain't gonna be faster to get a house by now. But every time I call Brenda, she answers all of my questions. She's super nice, even though I can be sassy sometimes. You know what I mean? She calms me down. Yeah, I mean, they're working with what they got, like we're working with what we've got. But if you got a dirty ditch, go clean it. If you got a dirty creekway, holler at me, I'll bring a chainsaw. You know what I mean? It's just, we have to, as a community, step up and do these things. It's just, I drove here today and half the creek banks I drove past to wash off. That's going to make flooding worse because that dirt has to go somewhere. It's going to wash out the beaver. It's going to wash out somewhere. If I don't have my perception done, I'm going to get fat faster. You know what I mean? So if we dredge the creek, it's going to fill up faster. It's just, said, the guy from UK is right. We stopped doing it in the 80s for reason. 1995 was the last time we done it here. You can't tear those colder things he's talking about unless it's just, and we should worry about the salary. I'm sorry, my creek is full of life, it's full of crawdads. They told me they're gonna bring a bulldozer down in 2022. I said, I bet too. Then I called about 6 lawyers and they kind of went away. They tried to take the tree. I had balls made out of it because I don't think touch it. It's just like, I don't know. There's classes we can all take. I've been taking, I lost everything I owned in 22 blood. So I took it upon myself to learn things, strategies, things we can do. It's just, we all need to be a part of it. It's not something that Laura's gonna fix, it's not something that Brandy's gonna fix, it's not gonna be something you fix, it's gonna be something we all fix. So, just.
Appreciate that. And I will add to what the gentleman said there. Community involvement in maintaining their property line would alleviate a lot of problems we go through. And I've had calls that, the road's going to wash out here. Need to get the road department up here. And I would go there before the road department. Yeah, the water's coming across the road, but I get my hole out the back of the truck and pull the leaves out. And within 10 minutes, the water ain't going across the road. And we all know when water goes across the highway and the county road, lower side washes out, we lose blacktop. And folks kind of should take that responsibility as being in the community. We didn't need a backhoe and a dump truck up there for me to take a hole and clean out the ditch line about this far. And we got a lot of leaves, and I don't know why, but we got a lot of trash in Letcher County, to one of the most beautiful places in the United States, I'm thinking. And people constantly throwing crap out on the roads, that it stops up our streams. And don't let me get on the power company with Asplund. I've been in contact with them, and they're going to do better, or this court's going to make them do better. Shortly on that.
Is that something, Judge Adams, that we can vote and create a new ordinance for those type of contractors that come in here, and either make them be bonded or either clean your mess up, or you're going to pay the county?
We're working on that now.
Okay.
And Laura, do you want to speak to our stream mitigation project that is ongoing right now too?
Yeah, so we have a $9 million stream mitigation project. Right now it's in environmental review with FEMA. We've done one phone call so far with FEMA, EHP, Environmental Historic Preservation, and NRCS. Things are slow right now at the federal level, just because of the new administration and many folks changing jobs just because they're scared they're not going to have a job. So it was a slow process to begin with. Really everything was just come to a halt in the past weeks, but we can reach out and see what we can do there to keep a finger on the pulse. But that mitigation is meant, let me back up. So that's a $9 million project, but countywide, we probably need $100 million to do the streams. Along with that, NRCS has a study going, and we reached out to Department of Local Governments to have the local share pay for the county, Letcher County's portion of that study. NRCS came and presented 2 months ago, I think. As TLG understood, they had already approved that payment for the pilot portion and do have plans to fund the county portion for the full portion. So that in our, Army Corps study, that U.S. Army Corps of Engineers study will help our mitigation program as well. But right now, we are waiting on FEMA environmental.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
My name's John Haywood, and I'm just here to ask some questions, trying to figure out what specifically I should do in our position, because my family's currently stranded right now due to work on Crane Creek. We're kind of one of the only folks around right now that are stranded just because of, I don't know what came down the creek the other day, you know what I mean? But our cover was like standing straight over the hair, almost. We're stranded, we can't get out. I walk up to my neighbors, Scott, Blue Cross, whatever, you know what I mean? We can't get groceries, deliveries, nothing. Been like that for a week. I'm just trying to find answers. I called the county judges there to get my place put on, place it, needs done. I was told, and it's just all, when this stuff happens, a neighbor comes up and says, do this, do this, do that. I obviously can't afford out of pocket to have someone come in and do what probably actually needs to be done with this cover. I mean, it's a good sized cover, I've contacted some contractors. Maybe the one that I contacted is who told me to come here today. We talked about, I'm going to pay the contractors. And that, I'm just looking for answers. Like, what do I do? And do I need to be trying to find some way to save up to make it, all of a sudden, however much money this is going to cost? Which obviously I don't have while my family is stranded. So, what's the procedure here? You know what I mean? Do I just constantly get people come out and look at it and go, well, it's going to cost you this much, that much, obviously I have it. There's folks from, I've got somebody I'm supposed to call right now, just some guy I know, a friend, who's in Hatter telling people. And he's like, oh, he saw pictures I sent, what's going on? He's like, oh, you need this, that, this. I don't know that he even knows what he's talking about. You know what I mean? Like my brother-in-law, Matthew Amber, he brought somebody up, some kid up, look at the cover. I could tell by the look in his eyes, I didn't want him touching it, you know what I mean? Because he didn't, kind of one of those things. And the problem really goes back to 22, because when the cover got all washed out, the cover stayed in place, but I took it by myself, by my hand, by my bare hands and wheelbarrows and whatever. Carry rocks, carry dirt, whatever, just so I can get across that thing. So I get family, I get to work. And I'm just wondering, what we, folks in my situation, it's like, it's just kind of an immediate thing, trying to figure it out.
That's one of those things that we're pushing to get done first, right? With people that are stranded like that.
Yours is a private culvert, right? Going over to your house?
Yeah, it goes across those two houses.
Yeah, that, we can only address those that are on county roads. We can, clear culverts as we coming out of the road. Laurel, have they done any individual assistance yet? FEMA?
The declaration that's in place right now is called an EM, not a DR. So there hasn't even been a DR disaster, which would have individual assistance. So at this point, it's important to get his address and make sure that the emergency manager reports that address up to Kentucky Emergency Management.
Have you talked to Paul Miles yet? Paul Miles, Emergency Management Director. Once this is over, I'll get you that number.
If you get it to me now, I kind of got to go first.
Yeah, and anyone, let me add there, anyone with individual assistance needs, house damage, if floodwater's got in your house, or a slide behind your house, anything that.
Or a private driveway that's out.
Private driveways, all of that, let's get, let Paul Miles know, and he'll come out and he'll.
Your cell phone.
Yes, he's our Emergency Management Director.
Okay.
His office is below the sheriff's office. Just go in the bottom door if you want to speak to him personally. He's on the office on the right. His phone number, 606-401-1690. 1690. And he's currently he texted me there, well, we're doing it. He's speaking with FEMA and he's speaking with the state officials even right now, but he's compiling that list of personal damage and he's reporting it up. So be sure to.
Normally, the county needs to have more than 100 that are either inaccessible or damaged or destroyed, so it's important for everyone to report.
Yes.
Who makes that decision, Laurel, as far as declaring the individual assistance?
FEMA.
It's me.
It goes by the numbers, the larger the number.
But if FEMA doesn't get the data, then they don't have the data.
Gotcha.
So everybody, I'm sure y'all know people that suffer. Be sure to you can't get out neither direction. Be sure to get that information to Paul, and he'll go get pictures of it. He'll help. Abby. Okay. Yes.
I live also I live in Seminole, I live about 52 years. Back to 22. Jim Wargo said the creeks didn't need to be dredged. Responsible. I waited to start river fishing all my life. I waited streams was this deep over your head. After the 22 flood, they did not all over me deep. This last flood didn't get me, but I've got a mess in my yard. And I'm here to take you to dredging the creek will help. It helped in 90%, 95, I thought was earlier. Water got up in the yard and the hoarded dredge that it never touched fully. Went through for it. My God. People on the damn hill now. Now the county's got hands full. Kentucky's got hands. But we got to get something done. Reaching it, widening it, probably won't hit it. What's a little later? What's a little south? Well, you lose some property and their life. I appreciate what you do. But walk down this sort of a river, you'll see a little bit what I'm talking about. Watch it when it floods. Y'all watch it. Even songs that there watch it. That's a stupid price. There's no reason for that price. You know, garbage deal, they get picked up. You can stand on your book on that river and float off. It don't need to float off. Go over and look right now in my yard over a bunch of trees that come down the rock. Put the water over. We gotta have something. I'm sure if we could take governor here, we all be winning. He was gonna swallow that. I hope he would. But I appreciate it. Every time I call this lady right here, she gives me support. She helps me if she can. Look what this whole county needs to do. We need to help each other. Right now, we got people needing help. I'll give anything if I was able to go and shut if I can't. I just have to make the back circle and try to. Now, that's something we've done. I've been texting this county for 70 years. And I want something done. And I appreciate you. Thanks.
Next. Let's speak. Yeah.
Hi, Gavin Hall, I'm captain of the Coastal Fire Department. I was just seeing if maybe you could help us get a water rescue team or something together. Because all the counties around us have something. We have nothing. That man right there, he's the only water rescue technician in the entire county. And it's not. People are gonna die if we don't do something. We need funding. We need something. We need something.
Paul Miles and I have talked on that. Get with him there and let's see what kind of process it is to get one of those set up.
We're offered to do one at our fire department. We've got a little bit of money that we got the grants we're starting on right now, but it's not gonna be enough.
Yeah, there is a need.
It's gonna cost $30,000.
Had a boat and been on 4 people, in excess of $20,000.
You know, we don't have a budget for that. No, in this county, some cities do, and they don't want to do it.
But right now, they there should be some money coming available for that. So get with Paul, and we need a checklist. And I know that comes with some extensive training too as well.
We've already been in contact with Floyd County. They've offered to do it for free for us.
Oh, great.
Technicians, awareness, anything we need. So we've already got that found out. The training, we don't have the equipment to do the training. We have to have the equipment first. Obviously, they're not going to put you in a river without the appropriate equipment.
So, yeah, we can work.
You want to do it.
We can definitely work on that.
It's definitely a need, that's for sure.
Like I said, one person for an entire county is not enough, and we don't have the equipment. He's got a technician level, kid, but that's just him.
Right.
He can't go out in the water by himself. He'll get swept away.
Is that something that if we put in place that y'all can house at your location?
We think, yeah. Yeah. Personally, you need more than one. If you put one in Colorado, flood 22, I would think you put one in Whitesburg, then it can service a bigger area. I would do one in central location, 20 on Jenkins, for 2 boats, service both areas. One over in the county, one in Fort Blackie, one in the city. You're looking at 6 boats. That's just do it efficiently. 60 people.
Yeah, see, that's the
issue. I will agree with that. Money is an issue, volunteers is an issue.
But-
Water, we will not forgive. I've been fighting for 10 years, if I forgive, water will not.
if we work towards getting that.
We'll do it. I mean, if we got, we'll have we'll do the best we can.
Oh, yeah, I got no little bit now to the side.
No, we'll put it there. We'll put it where we can. If you all get it for us, that way it can be used, and it won't just be used for us. I mean, if we get the training, we get the people, we'll help anyone out in the county that we can.
We applied for a grant, credit applied for a grant on behalf of us back when I first went into office, and we went to each fire department and said, what's the need? It was turnout gear. It was a lot of different things, and airboats was another issue that was one of the things we put on there. That grant was denied. I don't know if that is something that Lisa can research and see if there's something else out there. It was a big group. It was a large sum of money. So maybe that's something we can see if Lisa could start working on.
I mean, right now, one of those and to put one thing will be started.
Yeah, that's right.
I think that's 3.
Maybe
Maybe
it's not.
got 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Ronald's got 2 or 3, and we're waiting to get the knocking, and we don't have one.
Yeah, get with
We
Paul.
have one guy, so we don't have one team.
Ideally, one up between Jenkins and Whitesburg, would be great.
I've been a first responder for 10 years, flood every day, but also too, there's maybe 75 fire personnel, period. I was one of 75 that had the training to do the job. Like he said, if I do it alone, I have to have a team on my bank, keep me anchored to it. If not, we get people. We experienced it in Cowan, September. We got fire come to us. We can get out of town, we can get through water and make all their boats down. So they're a good resource. The fire department came down to us in 22, on the London board. They did real good work. They got down 3401, UZ, everything on 18 to like was. With 25 fire. I would love to see 2. I'd love to see one at the search and rescue building weekend. I'd love to see one in Colson. Because with that, then we can get people. If Colson floods, and you can't even get out of Colson, both in Whitesburg, you can get to it.
Yeah.
We began taking steps in our fire department, trying to get something together. I don't know if any other fire department has, if they have, that's still. We got some money, like I said, coming in, but it's not gonna be enough. Like you said, it's gonna cost $30,000 just for one. And the biggest grant that we got so far for that was through CSX, and it was for 5,000. And that's not just for water rescue, that's for other things that we have about that as well.
Get with Paul Miles on that.
We have to do duty jobs and duty rescues and go on this call without this. We have to go out, volunteer or not.
Could you say that, please?
Believe it or not, like you said, it's only about 75 of the county, who even, like all of our personnel or first responder personnel. We have to go anyway. These roads are awful, we have to restore one over, roads you can't get out of, it's not supposed to be up on. Covered in water, going up on off the mountains, also like, we have to restore anything on what I call, even if it's not far. We need help, get equipment, help people out and stuff.
Just get with Paul, get with me later and we'll,
Is he in his office right now?
you should be, yes.
So let me say something about calling some price cabins up there. I'd like to give a big shout out to them. They've worked above and beyond long hours so far. They've been distributing water out to people that couldn't get out to get it. They've hand delivered it to them. They've done a fine job.
Thank you.
We
And
appreciate
I
that.
like hearing that they're looking for more resources and funding.
It's good.
Yeah. We appreciate that.
We're a small department, but we're willing to undertake it the best that we can. We don't. And if Paul can help that, then we'll go talk to him right now.
Yeah, go speak to him.
Hope y'all heard that.
Thank you.
Brian, you and, is anybody else back there? Anybody in the corner back there you want to speak? Brian, you got anything? Brian? Law? Hey. Hey, Ray.
Yeah, that's what we answered, I think you live there. But, man, you got plenty of creek banks. You got toll, you got flood. You got rain. Man, I don't know what's going to, but you didn't know ours. They're daily, you say, for a few months. And these old young people, they tell us what to do, because, man, they ain't got a clue. But whatever we tried in 22, I think everybody in Letcher County agreed it ain't working. Know the answer, it ain't working. We need to clean the creek banks, everybody see that. Make whoever mentions throwing out trash, if you drive through my cake, it was a day. And the garbage trucks, you follow them, you'll see a bag blow up. Call Terry, he'll then come get it. But, man, you guys know you can't stake it to the sky, we can't stake coal to the sky. You gotta make two trips, just don't pick up no more, make it up though. And, I mean, we worked in coal from here all the way. We got all the equipment we need to do anything. These local guys know what they're doing. I don't know how you go about letting them do it, but these local guys, they know what to do. And if y'all know where I live in the middle of nowhere, have no water problems. We dig it out, we take care of it all the way down to the highway, and everything's good enough to get down the highway. But as far as when it gets up there, we're good. We worked in coal all the way. We went on the mountainside. We cleaned up a good ditch, and if you didn't control it, we made it wide. You can't live on top of your houses and everything else just because it's flash flood. It's gonna happen. And, a lot of people got a lot of poor engines, bigger engines, guys sexy out there doing it. A lot of them out here that actually do work. And man, they've done a lot of free volunteer work to help their neighbors. Appreciate everybody that's done it. Nobody gets a call, straight down the road, pull it out. And then like Bill said, hey, it's flooding out of town, pull that out. Tell somebody to go pull it out. And it's got to be pulled out free. You can't leave that stuff in the creek. It covers. I know it's a good quick fix. We worked on a coal mine, quick fix, yeah. If you want to pull it back out to the road again, bridge is 100 times better. Like Jackie said earlier, I didn't realize them box bridges up there, I thought it was a bridge. It can't go down. You can't increase the size, so you can't control that water. And that would be a big expense to do it. And it'd be a big expense, get rid of them box covers, but let's work on the ones that main is big expense. Like, how many of you seen covers stuck in, they have flushed out and stopped up the rest of it? And I know bridges are really expensive. Look how many tractor and trailer roadways that's been put off the highway. gonna sit in that house. You put a good concrete pier, and you take anything, pull it across the bridge, concrete to the side, I think it'd be cheaper than the culvert. Maybe you'll haul 100 times the excavator, you ain't gonna hurt it, your pickup truck. You gonna hurt it, your truck. Jerry probably kept a bunch of them down the scrap yard down there. And I know he can't get that much money on the scrap yard. Locally. If you ever look at equipment around here that's hauled in, gigantic locals, they're sitting there for a house. That's a law, they can only be solo, they got to pass all these restrictions. And like the one I got, I can't brakes, foot brakes, got them foot brakes, but I did. I can't even have them, but they had the low voice. I think the county, can hear the recycle center, they got some massive vans down there. And like, it's cheaper than the gold. And you ain't gonna break them things. And if you put them up higher, then all around it, it's gonna handle the water if you keep it inside the pipes. Well, like I said, 22, I was heaven. Now, there's a lot of houses that's condemned, and they're still standing there, and I know everybody probably won't throw a rock at it, but the thing in Haman, what we would have done in my dad's days, my grandpa's days, somebody would have been in jail because we throw gas in the light thing first. It's going to stop that creek from now on. And if you drive up through Haman, it's flooding you people. Blacktop's going to be gone. It's going to cost way more than moving that old church.
And it's not just the church, it's every culvert on the road. It's something so in I bought a $90,000 wall. I had less than 4 feet of yard left before I am homeless. My daughter already waited out Blackie in 2022. She carried it. What do they want us to do?
You know, like I said, culverts, it's a quick fix.
I understand that it's a state highway. The point is, it has to be done. There are 15 families on Church Road that are in danger every single time a raindrop falls.
I mean, you know, everybody I talk to is so disappointed. And I don't know if it's either, but these quick fixes ain't fixing it. You know, if you put a whole bunch of small covers, it ain't gonna work.
The state works came up there, right below the church, but those are the railroad tracks. There are 2 churches about as wide as my wrist, and this deep, and there was no problem whatsoever with the creek over. And I have got video of trash piled this high on the other side of the church, and it jumped in the road in 3 places. Waist deep, over the hood of the Dodge 1500.
I mean, you know what, I see the garbage trucks come by and they're loaded to the max. And I've lived up on this mountain for 27 years. I've lived in here all my life. They garbage door every month. And they never have back the garbage picked up because I'm old school. I burn it. You don't have to burn it, you don't smoke, you don't choke your budget. If you pile up like get wet and light it, you're gonna choke yourself out. I'm all for garbage, I'm all for garbage pickup. Some people don't understand how to do it, some people can't do that. But, you know, garbage is a major problem. You go down, we got the furthest place in the world here. I have a place in Tennessee, I'm going to go. It's under a tree here. I love the people, I love this place. To me, there's not a place on earth that holds this place alive. Went to Grand Canyon, my sister said, your mouth ain't shut, what are you doing? I said, you're reclaiming this, I want a job. And it would be, you know, because in Kentucky, you look like the stuff we got here. But, you know, Grand Canyon pretty, I just look down, I'm just saying, well, we get locked up for a place like that. Getting back to the problem, and we'll go up it's the quick fix, we get up today. It's a bigger problem in the future. It's like this election is forcing inflation away. And it's my way we've always done. If it's a, don't estimate the thing, it might be every month going to. But if it's something you're going to depend on, you better make a good wall and a good bridge. Way higher than you ever imagined. Because all the trees and stuff, and people go all the garbage everywhere, they just stop to do it. Because don't look at garbage and you know, how good it is. Some stuff, worked in the school for 27 years. Man, you put a roll of toilet paper in it, it's total world ain't gonna fix it. You gotta get it out. I'm probably thinking of word, I've seen it go out the door, hey, you didn't, so we're going to discuss this. Whatever school she's going to, needs to take a different school for a while. And everybody in this room really needs to pray for an answer. Because we ain't got it. And I thank everybody for everything you try to do. I mean, y'all got a lot of load on your shoulders. And everybody in the county's counting on you to try to help fix this. So it's just quit fighting with everybody and let's try to fix this. I mean, if you're not able like Roscoe, I volunteered to help Roscoe too. He's got so much pride. He says, no, Reno, I'm good. Man. And when the flood got over there last time, there were stacks of rescue stuff and water, tons. Goes away. It really, really bothers me because I have tons of food in this county. It got to be in the landfill. It really bothers me. We took tons, canned food in cases to landfill. I hauled it out of Tennessee. I hauled it out of a lot of places. People donated real good, hard-earned money. Hauled to landfill that we got to take care of. Our tax dollars got to take care of it. Well, I mean, I don't know the answers. I got a truckload of food. I mean, I bought a tractor. They won't even unload the rescue stuff because we don't need it now. We need it now. I mean, I get what, thousands of things, a hand sanitizer, hand wipes. Nobody wanted it. It's just like, I don't know where you can store all that stuff. I got 15 box trucks full of stuff. I mean, you know, every time I say I got clothes, you think my boss, son, my girlfriend says you're flirting. I ain't flirting. Everybody else want it, you know, I'll bring it. I'll bring it whole truckload of clothes. And she's a sweetheart. I ain't trying to put her damn deal. 99-year-old man. I'm like way past, you know. But anyway, golly, I was walking, going to see her tonight. For what you're doing, send the mail.
I'd say you're probably pretty close to finishing.
She seemed like sitting on side of the road down there sleeping on that one, but I gave me straight to the woods. Anyway, I mean, everybody's trying to, just trying to come up with an answer that works for people. Thank God, he stuck me on top of a mountainside. I said, I'm crazy for going there. It's working right now. But gee, you go down hard and you see your neighbors waving a tree. I stopped on the side of the road, coming through the door. I throwing people food and stuff. And people behind me blowing their horn, get out of the road. There wasn't no way to get to the house. I mean, what's wrong with this? It didn't take me 2 minutes to throw on a little food and a little bit of stuff. I mean, you take a pack of wings and maybe you make it. Somebody's been on a hunting trip and pack of wings pretty good. And poor people are gone, they have no way to get out. If I stop and throw you a pack of wings, I'm not flirting. Getting worried about somebody started. I'm really not worried about your dog, man. Because the cats, God will take care of them. You don't have to worry about them. Now, I get them bullets started in me right now. Somebody said, good Lord, they'll take them horses away from the people that are out there. Good Lord, take care of them. They'll one make it. If everyone in this room dies, and horses will make it. The dogs will make it, and cats will make it. You got to have dogs okay. It ain't never learned how to do it. You get out there and you need. Yeah, I'm waiting on subject. I'm just saying, it's for really affecting so many people like this little lady and so many others. You know, just because you got plenty of steaks on your table and you see your neighbor steak is starving to death, the kid's hungry. She said, I don't need that steak, you know? I mean, really, we better do it in my life. But, golly, guys, let's come up with an answer together. Most of all, let's put it like this. I think that was for a living. Maybe you could talk.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
You better go get some flowers.
My name is Robert Lewis, and like all of you know me. I'm here today to talk about dredging. We might need a moment of silence. We've already let some bats pretty much keep in prison and 300 jobs coming. And now we're somebody's talking about a few salamanders, more important than our citizens getting flooded. And I think it's past time to worry about a salamander or a bat people. I didn't have Chetty's and Benny's contact information. I sent some stuff to Judge and Deb, Jack. You mentioned Jack, a UK study. I don't know if they've not been to count and look at the creek, the stuff under the bridge.
Yeah, that was up to the extension.
Used to get a track over and look about that bridge. And it's the rock and silt, it's piled up there. So, desperately needs dredging, and maybe we can leave. You can leave out that salamander. God bring the salamanders back. That might have on the bank of the dredging still. He'll take care of it. 9 families use our bridge, the lower bridge and bridge loop. It's damaged, and it needs dredged back there. It's built up. I'm gonna mention this. I wish you all would appoint a local committee to meet with other counties to discuss and get organized, put plans together to meet with, we got an opportunity right now with new administration. We got a vice president for the routes in Breathitt County. Breathitt County is one of the main counties that got flooded. And he came to visit Breathitt County. Vice President J.D. Vance came to visit Breathitt County right before the inauguration. And I feel like as Judge Adams and a delegation of other county judges get together in these counties, 5 or so counties, whatever county want to do. I know Chad Allen and Perry County's trying to organize something. Paul Fleming is trying to organize something in this county. But the dredging issue, if we don't get this dredging done now, this new administration, or President Trump got these balls, he would override the EPA rules, override FEMA's rules, and say get it done for these people because it's desperate, it's done. We'll never get done, I don't think, if we don't do it now. He's gonna be in our 4 years, and we don't have the money to do it. It'll have to be federal money to get it done because it's emergency. And Laura, I'm asking you, if it's emergency, are you lobbying somebody up the chain to do the for individual assistance? Can you Laura, can you lobby up the chain, push forward? For who's got the Mr. Haywood there and Burke Creek?
No, I haven't heard for
Panther. I mean, the thing that caused the emergency declaration, that's what took out his color. he can't get to his home, or these other two people can't get to their homes. That caused the works of this flood. Can I not qualify to get him National Guard for the temporary bridge or something that takes care of it?
So the county just hired us for public assistance. But the answer is yes, I mean, there can be things that can be done, but we don't, as a contractor, we don't normally get involved in visual assistance.
And what that does, Robert, after the 22 flood, we lobbied with the state and with the federal agencies on this individual assistance to do those private entrances. FEMA's guidelines on that is, when they was putting them in, I said it won't work. They go and put 4 or 5 culverts in a stream and call that a temporary emergency access.
Low water bridge,
and they all washed out. They washed out. We had the 22 flood, July, 23, February, they all washed out. Exactly what that we said they would. By their guidelines, though, they wouldn't do a permanent fix. And that's the problem. And that's the individual assistance part of people coming forward is what needs to be addressed and sent up the chain to FEMA.
It desperately needs fast track.
Our hands is tied as the county on doing that. Laurel's taking care of public assistance, and that is the private assistance or the individual assistance, they call it. But that's why I say everybody needs to contact Paul Miles with all these issues. You know,
like Benny said, start today. These contractors today, they should be so busy already and get these roads fixed, these problems fixed. They should already be on them. And they should have the authors of the faith, they're gonna get paid for the work. It's too long, like the process is too long. Until somebody finds fights for it, it's going, who's fighting for us?
The folks sitting right here fighting for us.
What can we do? What can you do to make it work faster for the people?
I think that you should put that committee together.
Okay, that's why I want to mention.
And go forward with that. You don't need you've got our blessing. I'm sure.
I wish that the U.S. Fiscal Court in the 5 counties, you get together, but I wish y'all would form a local committee to meet with other counties to discuss and get organized and put plans together to meet with Vice President Vance. Once he knows this is going to affect Breathitt County too, I believe he would certainly meet with a group that comes all the way from here to Washington, D.C. to meet with and get support for the project. And we never know until you try. And I said this to Senator Rand Paul last night. Senator Paul, if say about 5 counties joined together here in eastern Kentucky, they're being ravaged by these floods so close together, with their 5 county judges, executives, and state representatives from all these areas, a handful of citizens from each county, we want to come to Washington, D.C. to meet with hopefully Vice President Vance about our counties up here in the mountains are in desperate need for our rivers and main creeks to be dredged out. But we know under current policy and regulations, that government agencies such as FEMA, EPA, et cetera, will say no to get in the waterways. The President Trump will no doubt be our only hope to override permits and regulations so the dredging can be done to remove so much steel, dirt, rocks back down to the base rock. These guys, they get to do that dredge up, tear those creek banks up. They're going to dredge down to the base rock and haul it out there. And he wants us, the guys that want to slow the water down. I understand on the mountainside. But we want the water to get out of here. We want to send it on down the road. We want that water get onto the Ohio River. We don't want it held back. And right now, it's held back. So much steel dirt rocks get down to the base rock bottom, thereby creating much more area for flood water to get out of these hills without destroying life and property. Because we count on you to help us get an appointment for a meeting with the Vice President. We, of course, would be thrilled to take our case directly to President Trump So we know he's busy trying to catch and eliminate so much waste and corruption. Dredging County, one of the main counties involved, birthplace and home for a while, the Vice Mayor President J.D. Vance, who visited there just before the presidential inauguration. We believe J.D.'s love for the area and knowledge of it would be a huge asset for him to lobby the president on our behalf. We also would be honored to have Sister Grandpa by our side. Looking forward to hearing from you. So, would you be willing to be on the committee, meet with the delegate with other judges and
Yeah.
do that?
Yeah. If you want to put a committee together, Robert, you know the
We
people.
need the county judge to lead that committee for Letcher County.
I
Be on it.
Yeah, I don't care to do that. No. And the other judges, I'm in constant contact with them. They'll
do it.
They'll do the same. But if you want to put together a group of people to do that, then go forward.
If there's our only chance.
I don't think there's anybody here that would not support it and would not do whatever we need to do to get done what we need to get done. And one more time, we all know that we're going to see more of this until, it's going to be more so now than ever. It was a long time in 2022, it was a long time before we seen, how, we did neon always, but we know now with runoff and these mountains are just full of water and our creeks we know that this is going to be a very often thing.
It's sad, it's old timers. Now I'm kidding with old timers. We know dredging helps, we've seen it. It takes a while, it will over time, go back in. But it does help to get it done, and it's a tremendous expensive project. But it should be covered under the emergencies, what I'm saying. The flooding cost is, thank you, I appreciate
Thanks, Rob. Put her together and I'll be there.
Thank you, Rob.
Like I said, everybody down here grew up on code. And if you want a good road, and that's so important, because you got to escape it. There's been house, you got to escape it. The only way you'll ever have good roads, you can take care of it. And old timers knew it. They worked on the highway before they worked on the road. I mean, if you got a water saturated bottom, you gotta take care of the water before you build the road. You put the road in there, they don't know where it's going. You go down the highway, and, the main highway, you know what the potholes are? Water. It's not because coal trucks, they're not here. Potholes still coming, everybody thinks coal trucks forever. But if you got water, it's gonna freeze and bust solid steel. You take a top, stand it up, fill it up with water, ice coming out top, you get rid of it, you split it, top. You bust. So, if we're gonna take care of the roads, the main thing, we gotta take care of the water. Your creeks go back in, you grow up on the sides, you flow it in, just like you septic tank, and you go in, you sort of want out of your house. Sometimes you gotta run some of it, clean it out, but what's what you're putting in, that's garbage, the trees grow, cut them down, wash down the river. Maybe all that around our seaplane, they get somebody like Barwood. I mean, I know a lot of people like that Barwood, it's way to cut it, for some environment, so you're killing them. Anyway.
Thanks, Ray. Ma'am, got anything else? Okay. Next row back.
I'm Jerry, my local contractor. I think one of the biggest issues that we're seeing is preventative maintenance. And if these issues are not addressed, it's just going to keep continuing. And I think everybody's doing a good job on it. They're going under the bus. I think everybody's just overwhelmed from everything that's going on, and it's stressing everybody when they look outside and they see the river getting up next to their house, and they're losing their vehicle or water's coming in their basement, garage, inside their house, possibly taking their house out, and it's stressful to everybody. And I think that we need somebody, is there some way that we could appoint somebody to go around and check these rivers for trees that's falling into the rivers and things? Because that stuff's washing into our bridges and backing up the water on up the stream, flooding people that may not have got flooded in the 22 flood, you know? And it's just going to continue to keep happening if we don't, like I said, maintain our culverts. So I got a question about that. If all of our culverts would have been maintained, and this ain't just the county, this is, I think I've seen probably state highway culverts that was worse than anything. I think I've seen the county working harder than the state, to be honest with you. If all of our drainage would have been properly maintained and our rivers would have been, all the trees cleaned out of the rivers, what percentage wise less damage do you all feel our damages would have been if everything would have been maintained? I mean,
Been a lot.
It was been a whole lot on the road,
50%, what do you
or
think?
60.
And it's just like Randall said with the drain lines. If you flush your commode and the water's just barely going out, there's a restriction. You clean that restriction, that water's gonna flush out fast. It's the same way with the rivers. You got trees growing into the rivers. You got winds and trees are dying that's falling into the rivers. That's now gonna be a threat. And something's gotta be done about that. You gotta have preventative maintenance if there's a problem. There's a source to that problem. There's a source that caused that problem. And we have to fix those things. But this stuff's gonna keep continuing to happen. People's gonna lose everything they got. We don't need this stress on our people no more. I mean, is there a way that we could appoint somebody to go around and watch these rivers? And if there's debris or trees in these rivers, they can contact the county or the contractors, whoever's in charge, and try and get these out of these districts.
The problem is EPA, Division of Water, and the Corps of Engineers. I'm sure they've got people doing that on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Just being allowed to get in there and get that out is the
Let
problem.
me say this is in regards to the Corps of Engineers. When we was doing the river dredging in the flood of 22, the Corps of Engineers was our biggest enemies. And you said it yourself. Let's get all these entities under one roof, because everybody was pointing a finger. This is why we can't do this. This is why we can't do that. We got everybody under one roof. And we found out the problem was the state didn't want to spend the money. Bottom line, I don't care what nobody says, I saw it with my own eyes. The state didn't want to spend the money. They didn't want to put money up here in these mountains for the people in these mountains. And they took plenty of our cost savings tanks through the years to go to Frankfurt and Lexington and Louisville and everywhere else, and they turned their back on the mountain people. The problem is, the citizens of these mountain counties has got to stand up and start speaking their minds and let them know their voice is going to be heard. The squeaky wheel gets the grease. You got to make noise. You got to make noise. And with that being said, can you give us some numbers of people in Frankfurt and places that we can call to start making some noise? Because that's what we need to do. Because the problems I see, and we're all in the same boat, we're all overwhelmed here. But we're not getting enough exposure down in Frankfurt. That's the problem I'm seeing is Frankfurt. And like I said, I've seen the county out working. Yes, we got problems, but let me make this statement. The last big snow we had, I came through Virginia. It looked like an army of people over there cleaning the roads and grading and everything, trying to get the roads cleared up. So I made it over to Kentucky, passed one soft truck, and he didn't even have his blade down, and the roads were horrible. That was the last big snow we had. So I think we got a problem on the state level.
I'm gonna say this, and I may catch a lot of flack for this, and anybody personal, there's some good workers on the state department.
Yes.
It's nothing that gets in, but the maintain the ditches.
No.
You go through every state, through Hammond, through Thornton, you go through every one of their roads. Their ditches are running over and their culverts are stopped up. And I don't know, I'm assuming that foster the lack of supervision. I don't know what it is, but it's definitely more on the state level than it is on the county level.
Yeah.
I know we can all vouch and say, when we call, if our county workers have the ability to do it, they do it. But we cannot, it's the state neglect is horrible.
I was told that they ditch when they don't have anything else.
Well,
important.
Go through any place in this county.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Down my district.
And
That's what Ricky's house has, all of that rain, all that runoff that's coming off the railroad. When they tore Ricky's house out, it was routed directly, it jumps the culvert at Billy's garage, and it is directly going, it took out the back corner of my foundation, it is rerouted itself.
It's causing a domino effect of problems by not fixing, like I said, the source of some of these problems. And there was one culvert in particular, guys, on Highway 15. It's been stopped up for probably a year, to be honest with you, maybe longer than that. And because of that, and that was on the left side of the road, because that culvert stopped up, it comes over across Highway 15 and causes another culvert to get overloaded in the malfunction, so it washed the access out and caused it to cave in because of one culvert malfunction. The other culvert could have handled itself if that one would have been maintained. You know, and that's.
So last thing that Secretary of Transportation, Jim Gray, with you up in the, I wish each magistrate could have Jim Gray for one day, take it around, show it, stuff. You know, that's where the buck stops. Stay.
No, this response.
Jim Gray was here in Letcher County, I got here, maybe they put him in. But all of y'all should be ready to change you one day and show them your district.
Yeah. Right. Right.
What we want to here.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
And what folks need to do, Jared, is I would call Pike County, District 12, if any of those issues, and if multiple calls come per issue, that will get their attention.
Yeah.
That, make them calls.
So what is your suggestion in going forward, so we don't have these same issues recurring constantly? What is your suggestion in regards to getting these rivers cleaned out? Because I know places that the river is probably 3 to 4 foot higher. I don't know what his river looked like, but the ones that I've seen places that are 3 to 4 foot high of silt. And you know yourself, if you can lower that basin down, say it's 4 feet, you lower that down 4 feet, how many more gallons of water is that river going to keep within its banks and flush out here a lot faster versus going over here taking John or Jane Jones' house out? You know, that's the stuff we're trying to eliminate, because a lot of these problems that we're dealing with right now could be eliminated, and we wouldn't be faced with these issues if we could go back here and fix the maintenance part. A lot of these problems won't be reoccurring no more. We won't be having discussions.
You have to take it to the bedrock. You can't skim off the top. That's what happened there in the land. Too. They were ordered to skim, and that's what they did.
Yeah.
They stood over our contractors, and they could only touch stuff.
I think it needs to be like all the way down. I understand we have some utility lines and stuff that comes across the rivers. I mean, we would have to work with 811 digging programs to find those marks so we know, where they're at. But
That's what I told the governor day before yesterday. I said, we've got to clean our streets.
what is he saying about it?
EPA is the whole.
State EPA or federal?
Federal.
Yes, it's federal.
And he was taking it to Washington as well.
Yeah.
It's a two-pronged thing too. Really going in and taking that out is the good thing, because you get those trees that are down, you talk about all that. But you've got to do the bank stabilization as well.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
You've got to protect the folks that are still living along the river.
Yes.
You've got to protect their property. And if you take all this silt out, which it's killing us, you increase the volume of that water coming down, then the folks that are living along that stream, they're going to suffer too. So it's got to be comprehensive enough that you don't do a project that takes 100 homes out in the water.
That's exactly what the study proved. They had a model. They took everything out when they turned the water loose, just destroyed the banks. So she's saying you can't dig it deep with all that volume and you're going to destroy your banks.
You've got to do both. And like you said, the trees I've looked at this past week, they're everywhere.
Yeah.
We've got more slides in Letcher County to date with this event than we had in the 22 flood.
Oh, yeah.
And they're not take a couple dump trucks and pick them up.
Yeah, this is big.
They're taking, it's 100 loads with a couple dump trucks. And
so as far as the material goes, where are we taking the material?
so next time, that's what I was going to ask you guys that are out there. We need approved sites to put this material.
I mean, I've got a site that we can put some material, but like with the slide up there, Fleming or whatever, in my opinion, I feel like that should be set back on top of a strip job somewhere and get it back out of harm's way or somewhere where it comes.
We've got to have property owners that will let us do that.
Yeah.
And we cannot put anything in the floodway.
Yeah.
Like down in Isom, it's a perfect place.
Yeah.
But that comes FEMA back in and you can't
put it in a flood zone.
You can't put it in a flood zone.
When it buy a sprayer and spray that stuff in that creek, you don't have to find more rocks there. It's full of it, nice rocks.
So Janice, you're saying that if I live in a flood zone and but I want to build my property up, and they can't bring that dirt to my property and dump it there.
There is a process. You have to permit all that with a division of water, and some instances they'll let you fill, some instances they won't, and it a lot depends on the neighbors across the water. You can't put anything that's going to damage the other side too. So it ain't just a matter of going in there and piling the dirt and causing problems somewhere else. And they watch that. Any site that we have has to be permitted. But if you all know of any sites, we're looking for them. And it'd be nice to have multiple sites that we can go. We don't have right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the first question they ask is, Robert, so Fleming over the slip, where are you gonna put it at? First, thankfully, we had some designated spots.
Well, I mean, that's very important, because you don't want to cause the same issue somewhere else, and be aware of that,
We had some designated spots and that helped us a lot right there. We didn't have to haul it so far.
But that creek rock, if you had somewhere to put that, and you could get it designated, when you get that back down, they done that up over the other, built that new house, and they had to drill the rebar, put the foundation in, it was so hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Strip job's probably a good location.
Yeah,
You could get them to agree to
it. That's in my opinion.
It would be.
Yeah. Permission. What about some of Kentucky River's property? Would they be willing to work with the county on that?
They don't.
Strip jobs.
It's tough to get that done. I've asked them and met with them, but they're not really interested in that.
Yeah. So is there any way that you all could give us some kind of paperwork with some phone numbers on it that we could try to make some noise?
We can come up with that. Yes.
If you don't care, please.
We'll try to get it together possibly today, maybe
So
Monday.
we can pass it around and share on Facebook so we can start trying to get some attention.
The judge could put it on his, Facebook.
We'll put it on the Facebook page.
That way we can start, because like if this thing, it'll be forgotten about next 2 weeks, there's gonna be other events that's gonna happen. Interstate, they'll say, well, they forgot about it. But we gotta keep making noise.
And that's why I told the governor too. I said, in 22, we had a 1,000-year flood.
Yeah.
here we are in 25
With another.
with a 100-year flood at least. And the 100-year flood, we didn't have 4 inches of rain.
Yeah.
Has done as much damage as the 1,000-year flood just because we got stream problems.
Here's my problem with them calling 1,000-year, 100-year flood. Nobody knows the answer to that. If God decides tomorrow.
Yeah, and that's just, all that is,
I know we call it that, but let's be honest. I mean,
that's just a percentage basis.
I've heard a lot of people that actually believes that, well, we won't see that again.
No, that is not.
Tomorrow we may have enough of it.
And that,
Nobody knows that answer. But we got to be, the point I'm trying to make is we've got to be prepared today for that to happen tomorrow. We can't wait until it's happening and then, it's like, the guys from the fire department, I understand where they're coming from because I remember the day of the 22 flood. I didn't know who to help because there were so many people needed help. It overwhelmed me. And I said, well, I'm just going to have to start with the first person to see.
Yep.
Keep working my way around. It ain't like you're going to one house fire. Everybody's house is on fire and you're going to help everybody. And you can only be at one place at one time. And that's the reason that I feel like that. We really need to be on top of this maintenance issue, and if somebody can be in charge of watching these rivers to make sure that, if there's a tree that's failed, get somebody on it immediately. Because if we have 2 days from now, if it ain't out, and we have a flood, it's gonna be at the bridge, and it's gonna create a dam down there. I watched the river during this last flood, tore all to pieces, because I'm having all these flashbacks of 22, and I'm watching constant debris coming down the middle of that stream, you know what I mean? And the debris I'm talking about is not so much just trash. I'm talking about sticks, parts of trees, limbs, and yes, that's.
Go down and say it.
Go down and say it behind the bridge, you'll find it. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I know the city of Whitesburg they used to go around every so often and clean in front of these bridges and get rid of all this buildup and stuff. Is that something we can do?
It's like all that hotel that shut down. Try to permit. And
I think at the end of the day,
he's on the big job, get that, get that.
And I understand what you say, Robert, I've been in the middle of that.
You've been there.
But go down and stick your piece of equipment in the water right next to what it is.
You're in trouble.
Everybody.
I'll get those numbers together.
Okay.
And
See that,
you might be good to be on Robert's committee too, Jerry.
Yeah, you can make that.
it's easy to get forgiveness for prevention to get that creek back that trip.
Because they're not the ones that live here, we're the ones that's living in the house danger. And everybody's with, would you rather deal with the EPA or would you rather deal with you or one of your comrades' lives? That's right. What would you do?
That's right.
What would you do? Would you sit there with the EPA or would you sit there and watch your best friend die?
Yep.
That's the question.
And Laurel, how many disasters have we had since 22 declared?
4 now that have been declared, and then many others that have been declared.
So that's us, and it's, that's what I told the governor. I said we're one emergency right after another. I said it shouldn't be common practice to deal with this every day.
Exactly.
Definitely a big shift since the 22 in this for our environment. It is definitely changed.
Brandon, you got something? Next row back behind Jerry there.
Y'all got anything?
Ken, you got, what, Ken's got something.
What is the that's gonna get off the test out to March 3rd? What are you gonna do about emergencies to now for the next 10 days? That's what I was.
We've got them.
Or whatever. That's not, and I'm speaking for every company, not just myself. I'm speaking for.
We'll be contacting tomorrow.
Yeah, I've got one that needs to be taken care of right past your place out there. Bad shot.
And I was just wondering because there was nothing said about those putting down to March 3rd.
That's the folks that didn't get on this contractor list that
Okay.
yeah.
Right, that's the only thing I want to do.
No, we're starting immediately.
And Ken, I want to publicly thank you for what you've done up there, Mac Roberts.
Me too.
Long hours, and I know it was,
Start to finish, I think it was 22 hours, so yeah.
I tell you what, I appreciate you being up there.
yeah, you done
It's
it.
the same thing they had to do.
It really is.
That's the same highway. They what sold our things.
Mhm.
They should,
Chill, but they should let you.
Yeah,
that's why you got quick response and working through the stuff.
And I'm gonna let Ricky Burke want to contact you. Can he build FEMA for that work?
We did, I was, this Jim Gray,
yeah.
Monday night, I guess it was, when it got dark. Jim Gray called Ricky Burke and told us we're gonna shut down work, because I worked on that. But they shut us down.
Yeah, he was worried about safety.
About his safety. But I asked, even asked about light plants and nobody wanted to say.
He was very concerned when he was there. He
What
was.
about slides, getting Ken and stuff like that, you know, you got.
That's an ongoing mess that somebody.
That's a big,
It ain't done, for sure.
that's a big,
That's a Band-Aid, that's what we do.
yeah. But I'll tell you what, that Band-Aid sure helped.
It did help the people, and we appreciate it.
Sure did.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you, Ken.
I guess that about concludes this.
Tourism. We promote tourism in the county, so on your way off. But once these streets, once these main rivers, you better get on how they act and go all the way. Right now, you know, that rock field, so big, you know, drag a walk, on those like these rocks. Like the gentleman said, they drum up, deep. Once you get the stretch done, what about the tourism? It's kind of.
Yeah. Thanks, Robert. You know. Everybody's good.
You felt, all right.
Yeah, we do appreciate everybody coming out. Like I said, look for some of that, that property that's out of the floodplain. If you got some property like that, let me know, or let Paul Miles know. He's looking too. Or let Magistrate, I mean, we're all trying to row the same boat here, so to speak.
The park on the highway is supposed to be, can you do a project, could you do that somewhere? Or you could create a little park somewhere, if you got a valley. That was loose field.
Yeah.
Is
Park on the
the
highway.
property of a real stuff that tourism is going to use and
It's a holler. But if you ain't, be hard on that, no.
But I know it seems that, I just want everybody to know we are working together. It's an ongoing battle and it's an overwhelming battle, but everybody's trying their best, and any ideas or any property or any contractor, you know, let me know. Let the magistrates know, and they let me know, or whatever. I think Laurel had one more thing.
Well, when we do get the debris proposal in for the debris procurement, that could include some limited waterway, including around ditches, in ditches and around culverts. The state did do waterway debris as part of FEMA public assistance, and as we all know, that was very problematic, and that was when the state managed it. It won't be, with the county managing it, I mean, there will be county dollars on the line that we will be at risk for if FEMA decides that we did not follow the proper rules. So it is not without risk. The good news is the state is not managing it. The bad news is the state is not managing it. So some of these things could be addressed as soon as, March, the 1st or 2nd of March, as far as official waterway debris. For any contractors that are citizens that have done any volunteer work, we need to track that, because since the state is not doing the debris cleanup, the county will have to pay 13%. The only way to get that 13% paid is through an offset grant of volunteer donations.
Yeah.
FEMA actually pays us money to document volunteers, but so documenting the volunteer donations is the only way that they'll be able to complete the work. Otherwise, the county will go bankrupt just even on that 13%.
So track everything. If anybody wants to do a project, if community stuff or anything like that, track those hours.
I had people reach out and ask me about that.
Names.
Went out and helped and stuff.
Names and hours.
And NRCS, we need to have, NRCS probably wouldn't be documented by the road department. It would probably be the magistrates. So there are stream or river locations that are potential NRCS projects. We need that list by March 15th to turn into NRCS for projects.
And is that cleanup as well?
Mm-hmm. Well, NRCS does debris and they also do embankment repairs. So they do, NRCS has two types of projects. So one would be debris. It becomes very complex. Yes.
So as you're all driving your roads and looking, it's just break off, get us an itemized list of what we can use, debris and break offs and,
So now we can include ditching to a point, correct? If it's creating an issue, which we all need ditching the entire road, but.
Usually just right the entire road.
But at least to the culverts.
Yeah.
Clean that.
And all you need is the road address.
Yeah. Just if you can get a GPS, that'd be great. GPS.
Some of the places I can't, but some of them I can't.
All right.
Before we dismiss, I do want to say one other thing. I appreciate you and I appreciate the mayor, Neon, Ricky, and everybody that came up there and helped with that project at FEMA. I'll tell you what, that was a disaster.
It was.
And I appreciate everybody that came up and helped that one.
And I feel like there's several entities involved that will probably step up and help out with the financial part of that.
I think so too. And the people up there that were affected, hopefully they'll get some stuff there for them.
Absolutely. Then motion to adjourn.
I make it.
Dana, Teddy,
Yes.
Benny, Jack,
Yes.
Kenny,
Yes. Thank you all for coming. Thanks for staying.
All right, guys. So that was the end of that. I'm going to go ahead and shut this one down and we will watch something else here in a minute, okay? See you later. Bye.
There's a crew in town. The head hillbillies are making their rounds. Small town whispers loud and clear. The sheriff shot the judge in his chambers chair.
Sheriff got a secret he won't keep. Judge shot dead in his disbelief. A lot of people have some stories to tell. Dark pass away, get the sound of a shotgun shell.
All the secrets spill on down. Voices loud in this old town. From the courthouse to the ground, rumors fly and they can't be bound.
Neighbors hide behind their blinds, whisper tales of troubled minds. Skeletons covering the mountainside, a treacherous reality in the pines.
Winter reveals the hidden lies. Moonlight couldn't mask their cries. Shadows caught in sunlit skies. There's no cover, no disguise. All the